What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about week 3 and the isms that we've learned about in class, specifically literalism and why it's a bad way to look at things. So we've been tasked by Professor Dixon to make an argument based on one of our isms, and today's argument is going to be about literalism and the Second Amendment. So the Second Amendment. Sorry, I'm getting a call.
Hello? What? No, 95% of my viewers aren't actually subscribed? That's insane. Are you sure? Oh, I'll tell them. I'll tell them they need to like the video, subscribe right now, and comment down below. Yeah, thank you for telling me. Wow. To think you have a loyal fan base. Alright, I've got to finish this video. Hold on.
Sorry, that was a telemarketer. I don't know what he was talking about. So today's video, we're going to be talking about the Second Amendment, a totally non-controversial issue, because who would have a problem with the Constitution? So if we're going to take a literalist approach, literalism is to literally just look at the words and what the words mean, not to take it out of context, not to think of the context of the situation, just to think of literally the words themselves. So the Second Amendment states, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state, and the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, there's a couple of literalist ways you could look at this sentence. The first one would be saying to keep and bear arms. If you know what the word bear means, in context, it would be to bear arms, like to have arms. That's great. I'm allowed to have my arms. I love these things. They're so useful. Thanks, Constitution. I wouldn't want anyone taking my arms off. That's really cool of you. I really appreciate that. I don't think anyone will want to have their arms taken off. A second way that I could see a literalist looking at this is saying the right to keep a bear's arms. Sick. Who wouldn't want a bear's arms on their wall in their man cave or just, there? Because that's totally useful to the people, right? Right? It doesn't make sense. Who would want a bear's arms? I don't know. So if you're going to take a literalist approach to this, you're going to have a couple of problems. Because while, yes, I do appreciate my right to have my arms, it doesn't need to be in the Constitution. No, not at all. So to take a more modernist approach into where we can interpret this into what we actually need it to say and how it could regulate the world today, the right to bear arms, as interpreted by the people, being us, is the right to own a weapon. And this is a tricky one because obviously a lot of people, have their views on this, whatever. I'm not going to get political because I really don't give a shit. And we're gonna say it makes sense, in the context of the law. It says, in the case of a well-regulated militia, it's important that the people have a right to bear arms, which means to have, weaponry and all that, to defend ourselves, to defend the country, in case of anything happening, all that sort of fun stuff. So it doesn't mean necessarily to have arms, but if you're going to take a literalist approach, it does. You see the impasse here? On one side, you have the right to own weapons and defend yourself and this and that, and on the other end, you have the right to have arms and the right to have a bear's arms. It's all on how you look at it and interpret it. There's no right way to look at the Constitution, and there's no right way to interpret it, because it was meant to be interpreted. You could look at the framers' point of view and say, oh, they may have meant the Second Amendment should mean you should have a musket with a bayonet on the end. But obviously that's not the world we live in. To a literalist, you have arms. You get your arms. To a modernist, some people may say, oh, you should have a pistol and a shotgun and some people may say, oh, it's unnecessary for this, that, and the third thing. So there's no one way to actually know what they mean and what we're talking about. That being said, I think we live in a time where you can't effectively use a literalist approach on the Constitution, especially because of the intentionally vague language. But it's still cool to think about how certain people can look at it, and I guess we have the freedom to look at it that way. Not necessarily how the courts will look at it, but pretty cool. If you like the video, make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, like, and leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you in the next one in about 20 minutes.